Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/entitled people. In today's episode, our new neighbor thinks she owns the building. Entitled neighbor shouts at my 7-year-old. Entitled lady wants us to help her bury a body for free. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Our new neighbor thinks she owns the building. Anyway, I, 31F, live in a block of 6 units, apartments for non-Australians. A month ago the unit above mine went up for sale and sold fairly quickly, and the new owner moved in less than a week ago. This morning I got up and went to take rubbish out and found a note stuck to my door. I honestly thought it was a "I'm new to the building" kind of note, you know? Oh, I could not have been more wrong. Dear tenant, I recently bought your building and wish to introduce myself. My name blah blah, not going to put her actual name, and I think you will find me a fair landlord. However, I do have rules. Everyone is to be in their units by 9 p.m. If you're going to be out past this, I suggest you find accommodation elsewhere. No pets allowed. If you have any, they must be relocated before I do an inspection, or I will call the ranger to remove them. This is the only warning. I will conduct an inspection once a month and you will be present to answer any questions or face eviction. Failure to pay rent on time will result in your eviction. If we all follow these rules, I'm sure we will get along. Sincerely blah blah. What the F did I just read? Fun fact about my building, we all own our own units, nobody actually owns the whole building. I won't lie, I got to the number 2 and had a slight panic attack because I have cats and there's no way I was giving them away before I remembered we bought our unit just before Christmas. We rented it from a friend prior, and when she told me she was thinking about selling it, we brought it, didn't even have to move. So in some ways it still feels like renting, but we actually own our unit. Now I'm not great at confronting someone, I tend to shake a lot, but at that moment I was quite angry, so I went upstairs and knocked on her door. You know that gut feeling you have? It was spot on. That door opened and there stood a Karen, her hair blonder than my own, her nails long and bright colored. She didn't look happy to see me there. I introduced myself and explained that I lived downstairs and that I wanted to talk to her about her note. She started to talk over top of me, explaining that her letter was basic rules and even a child could understand it, and if I didn't like her rules I could hand in a letter to vacate. Wow. I would ask if people are really this up themselves, but I work in retail and could answer my own question. I told her that I actually own my unit, she hadn't bought it or the rest of the building but only her own unit, and that she couldn't enforce anything in her note. She didn't like that at all. She started yelling at me, saying that yes, she had indeed bought the whole building and that failure to comply with her rules would mean I would be evicted. I was just starting to think maybe I was wrong when another neighbor opened his door. He came out and asked what the issues was about and could she stop screaming as he worked nights and was trying to sleep. I told him I was trying to explain that she hadn't bought the building, and she started yelling again. My neighbor told her to stop and then said the best thing I had heard that day. Are you stupid? Her jaw dropped as he explained to her how wrong she was and that he was in fact part of the strata committee, kind of like a HOA that oversees the building, and that she had no right to make rules for everyone. She gave us dirty looks before slamming the door. I thanked him and he said in the entire time he lived there he hadn't seen someone so entitled. I wonder what exactly made her think she owned the whole building in the first place. Is she so illiterate that she misunderstood the terms of sale as presented to her by the previous owner of her apartment unit? I don't buy the stupid and/or tricked for one bit. It's the type that rolls over people, gaslighting them in all of her entitlement. She rolled a notch too far, getting away with it once 1 or 2 times, that and severe childhood trauma. People are not born like that, they become like this, by sad example. On top of which, some of her demands wouldn't even be legal if she did own the building. No landlord gets to set a curfew. Neither are they allowed to do monthly inspections in most parts of the world. In the US, most states set very specific conditions for inspections. Residents have the right to be present, but only a court order could require that. Part of me wonders if she tried this thinking she could make things to her liking and figured people would be too scared to question it. That's what I was thinking as well, but she can't control 5 other homeowners. I wonder when it will hit her that the great deal she thought she got from buying an entire building of apartments that would pay her money every month is really just for one single apartment in the building, and she's not going to get any income at all from you. I'm assuming she's not going to be voted onto the Strata Committee. Welcome to the neighborhood? The neighbor that saved me asked if I wanted to be on the committee, and we only need 3. Oddled haven't heard a peep out of her today. This woman has to be certifiably insane to think that she bought the whole building. Some of the things on that list were unreasonable even from an actual landlord. I know, like the curfew? WTF is that? I finish work at 11 p.m. some nights. Keep a folder with her craziness to be safe. This letter is item number 1. This should be interesting. Entitled Neighbor Shouts at My 7-year-old. My daughter, 7, often goes up and down the street on her scooter, just one of those you push yourself, not electric or anything. I watch her from the top. Today a lady at the bottom of the street stops her, puts her hand in front of my daughter's face, and shouts, "Stop, go home, never scooter again." It is a disturbance. For clarification, like I said, it's not electric, barely noticeable. She's on a public street, none of us have drives, so she's not on anyone's property at all. So I see this altercation from the top of the street and walk down to see what's what. My daughter's crying and tells me what she said. I try to ring the woman's Ring doorbell. She can clearly see me but doesn't answer. Clearly can bully a child, but not an adult. She hasn't said anything since, but I spoke to my family and they said if she does anything else to report her to the police. I'm just so disgusted and furious, acting like she owns the street. We also live next to a university, so it's not exactly a quiet little neighborhood. We're next to a city. Just for some extra info, I texted a friend who lives at the bottom, seeing if she knew her. She said she did. This woman has told them not to sit outside their own door. You have to hear to get the sun doesn't go round back. She also took pictures of them. My friend ended up telling her to F off. And quite rightly so. Absolute weirdo. Just a little edit. I've told my daughter about some of the comments she's chuffed, and it's helped to show her there are nice people about. Don't ever want her to lose that, so thank you guys. Take that baby out every day to ride her scooter. Walk with her. Dare that lady to say a word. Record if she steps outside. I say OP needs to level up. Time to go buy an adult-sized scooter, put a bell on the handlebars, and ride with her daughter. If they see the neighborhood hag while riding, OP should ring her bell and give her the most genuine smile she can muster. If she's feeling especially salty, she can throw in a wave. Nothing ruins a hag's day like happiness does. It's their kryptonite. My mom said this. I will be recoding any reactions with her. She's clearly not a reasonable person. Don't wait, make a police report now since she didn't come out and talk to you. Better to build up a case now than wait for things to escalate. This. File a report now. Raising your hand at someone while shouting and threatening is assault, a legitimate crime. File a report now. Press charges. Next time it'll be a slap she gives your daughter. Buy one for yourself and join your daughter. Better, invite friends as well. Scooter party. I would call the police non-emergency number today and file a report. If she physically touched your daughter in any way, that is assault. Obviously, there is some mental defect there. It might do to call your local office on aging to see if there can be a wellness check or social worker assigned. If she is experiencing senility and is physically confrontational, she could be a danger to herself and others. And if not, the wellness check out of concern for her mental health will piss her off tremendously and embarrass her, so even if it turns out she's mentally sound-ish, it's worthwhile. Play with your daughter in the street as often as you can until she feels safe again. We want to encourage outdoor play. Send your daughter my good wishes from Scotland. We are all on your daughter's side. Make her life more miserable. That's your baby. Entitled lady wants us to help her bury a body for free. I work for a cemetery, let's start there. Today, random lady calls and picks a fight with our sales staff because her father, prior to his passing, purchased a crypt for him to be placed in. This crypt has a marble or granite, I'm not sure which, front and has already had his name and whatnot engraved on it for about 10 years. He also paid for this entirely in advance. Random lady has decided since it's her father, his wishes and pre-arrangements don't matter, she's not power of attorney since he has passed. She wants to return the crypt and buy a grave for him to be in. Fine, whatever. But she also doesn't want to pay the fee we have to pay a mason to come out and restore the stone front to a smooth surface so a new person can buy it. Also, lady wants her uncle's ashes buried with her father in the grave, an arrangement the father did not make or want. Also, she doesn't want to pay for the uncle's ashes to be buried alongside her father. Instead, she has decided she wants to pour his cremains into her father's coffin with her father's body to save money, an act which is not only morally reprehensible, but is also, I'm pretty sure, illegal. She is now working her way up the authoritative ladder because we told her no, we won't be incorrectly burying cremains, and she won't get a correct burial for free. If he bought the crypt and already paid for it, she shouldn't be allowed to return for a refund something that she didn't buy to begin with. Someone's last wishes should be honored, especially if they already paid for the service. There should be a law about that. There is, and she's not getting the refund, and she's not happy about that either. It's like lady, he had his name carved in stone 10 years ago. He knows where he wants to be. Although technically the power of attorney could make these changes with the correct legal paperwork. But she is not and doesn't have that paperwork. Sounds like dad knew what his kid was like and took steps to put up roadblocks. The title had me expecting a very different story. Are you sure it's marble? I took it for granite. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.